Recording in progress.
Welcome into the latest episode of the Betting the Pitch Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, Real_G Warner. Today we will go through the English Premier League, Spanish La Liga, Italian Serie A, the Liga in France, and the German Bundesliga. We're going to go through each of the matches that have not been played on Friday. There was a bunch of action today out there, but we'll get through the rest of the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, as I think we're heading into an international break. So we've got a log jam of matches all being played. I'll give a best bet end of show. Ultimate best bets 1-0 to start this season. I think we're something like 68%. Almost very nice record last year. But we're going to try to keep that going or maybe even improve it this year. And we'll see if we can make that happen. So we'll start where the money is, and that is in the English Premier League. And we'll start in the early Saturday matchup. There wasn't a Friday as far as I know. We'll start with Chelsea, and they are hosting Fulham. Currently, Chelsea 1-goal favorites. All the juice on Fulham away. Total is 2 3/4. Just pretty heavily to over right now. So Chelsea, I mean, they've won the Club World Cup, have the badge ingrained fully on all their kits, and looked pretty good so far to start the season. But giving a full goal of insurance to their next door neighbors in the western portion of one of the biggest cities in the world, in London. I don't know necessarily this is a big brother, little brother scenario, but Fulham are always up for this matchup and have had, I think, pretty good success against Chelsea in the past. The big question is, can Fulham score with Chelsea? I think that answer is no, but getting a full goal of insurance is a lot to me. I don't really want to play unders necessarily with Chelsea, and that does limit my interest in playing Fulham because most of the time if I'm playing a road underdog, I want it to be a low-scoring game, but they are one goal insurance goal underdog, so that probably doesn't expect a low-scoring game or else those totals would be bet pretty significantly, and there are a lot of correlated unders and plus ones that be played. So biggest interest to me is Fulham +1. We'll see if they can stay close, hang tight. I'm still not that impressed by Chelsea, even though they are Club World Cups champions or whatever we're calling it. We'll move to the logjam and the big one on Saturday. We'll go with Manchester United. They're 1.5 goal favorites to Burnley. All the juice on Burnley right now. Total in this one is 2 3/4. Juice very heavily to over. I'm waiting for a 3 on this one, to say the least. Would love that under, as I don't believe in Ruben Amorim. I don't believe in the Manchester United squad, and I actually was very impressed with the way Burnley played. So home matchup after a loss to Spurs in week 1 or match day 1. They host another newly promoted side in Sunderland. Took a 1-0 lead, held on for dear life, got a counterattacking goal in the 88th minute, and that was a pretty Loctite, great defensive effort, and probably deserved, put a lot of pressure on Spurs early. So I think I'm into Burnley. At least I know I'm out on Manchester United until they prove a lot. So +1.5, and I like under 3. Move next to Sunderland. Speaking of, a pick'em at home to Brentford. All the juice on Brentford right now. Total in this one is 2 1/4. Juice all the way to over. So Sunderland, I mean, we're going to see them with a huge crowd. I expect the Black Cats are going to do that. They travel pretty well. I thought we're controlling a lot of the game, but fell behind and then weren't able to score. And that is how you lose 3 points to a newly promoted team and put yourself behind the 8 ball. But a win at home against West Ham in the opener, I think they would have taken 3 points from those first 2 matches. Probably would have taken 2. So not a bad start, but certainly not perfect. I'll lean to the home underdog at Pick'em. I'll lean to under 2 1/4 as well, as I don't think Brentford are a goal-scoring team. Dango Ouattara, a great addition from Bournemouth, kind of flew a little bit under the radar. He scored in match day 2. Brentford's new manager he hasn't done enough to prove anything to me. I think the downgrade from Thomas Frank is significant, and I think going on the road as a favorite doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I'll be waiting to see a quarter of a goal underdog pop up on Sunderland. But even then, I do like the pick'em, even though if they draw, they would push, whereas a quarter goal underdog, even an expensive one, will at least pay you some money on a goal list draw or any type of draw, scoring draw either. We'll move next to Tottenham hosting Bournemouth. Currently Tottenham 3/4 goal favorites. All the juice on Bournemouth away. Total in this matchup is 3, just a little bit more to under, not too different there. And I'm still trying to figure out what this Tottenham team is. Great start, big win on the road at Manchester City. They've certainly had Manchester City's number over the past few seasons. Bournemouth have been great, but replaced so much in their team, including their entire back line. So that's a concern for me as well. I think at this point, I'm into Bournemouth getting 3/4 a goal. It doesn't look like it'll hit 1, but I'll be waiting for that if it does. To the next matchup, we'll go to Wolves hosting Everton. Currently, Wolves pick 'em. All the juice right now, plus money odds on Wolves. So all the juice is currently on the Everton side. Total in this one is 2.25, just a little bit more to under. And I just don't see goals happening in many Everton matches. We haven't seen it for a while. Everton on the road, as David Moyes loves to say, we don't go on the road to entertain. So with that said, I think we don't see much from an Everton offense. Didn't see much in the opener at Leeds. I thought they conceded a ridiculous penalty, but welcome to officiating in soccer. And unfortunately, when penalties are given, they swing everything, including sides, the quarter goal underdog and a almost dead under, and an underdog that should have probably drawn goalless. But you give a penalty away and things don't go very well. With all that said, I'm interested in Wolves, especially more if they climb to an underdog. They've started with a pretty tough schedule, so I'm not really so concerned about them losing badly to Manchester City. City are extremely deep. The odds are back. Welcome to @TheReal_G Warner. Late night, though it's pretty early on Friday. I was thinking I'm still actually going to go out. We'll see if that actually happens. But I think for the most part, home and underdog, I think correlate pretty well there. Like both those things. And the home dog, Wolverhampton Wanderers. The Wolves. Home dog, I guess Wolves are a cat? No. Different family, I think. Anyway, correct me if I'm wrong at @TheReal_G Warner on any social media platform. Move next to Leeds hosting Newcastle in the nightcap on Saturday, though kicks off 11:30 Central Time here in Dallas, Texas. Leeds quarter goal underdogs right now. All the juice on Newcastle away. Total in this matchup is 2.5, and it is juiced very heavily to over. I'm not sure I see Leeds playing high-scoring matches. They're going to use their crowd and try to dominate this game. As anyone who follows any podcast I do, I don't like road favorites, so I'm automatically leaning towards Leeds. But Newcastle are scary. I love the Nick Voltamata signing. I'm not sure if he'll start in this matchup. Probably will, but I think the big question for Newcastle is how do they play away from home, because they're usually so dominant in their home building. Leeds are going to bring it for sure. I think I lean to the quarter of a goal underdog more so than the under on this matchup, but lean both ways on that one. Moving to Sunday, we went Brighton. They're half a goal underdog at home to Manchester City. A little bit more juice on City away. Total is 3 in this one, juice pretty heavily to under. And Man City are still a work in progress, or just something that we need to figure out. I'm not really interested in playing unders with them because they can score. I don't feel strongly enough about their defense yet. Brighton are not great, but ultimately, they have some clue in their analytics department. That's how they've been building their club and made a Europa League, and I think won a group even back when we had groups so many seasons ago, just 2, but everything's changed so much seismically since then. I'll lean to the home underdog there, getting a half of a goal. We'll move next. Same, start time. We'll go to Nottingham Forest, 3/4 goal favorites at home to West Ham. A lot of juice on the home side. Total's 2.5 in this one, and I think the only thing I'm interested in here is under 2.5, and that really depends on just talked about Manchester City. That really depends on West Ham United trying to hang around and play a competitive matchup. I'm not sure they have it in them, but I do think that Nottingham Forest's goal scoring from last season, which really wasn't much, I don't think we see Chris Wood have the same season he has last year, this year. And West Ham United, they have not proven anything offensively. The odds are back, yay. I think under 2.5 is my biggest interest in that one, though. However, 2 more matches to go, and then we'll get to the ultimate best bet nominee from England. We'll go to Liverpool, quarter goal favorites at home to Arsenal. What a big matchup before the international break. More juice on the Liverpool side. Total in this one is 2.75, just a little bit more to under. So Arsenal to me are the better club with, I think, a better chance to win the Premier League, though I did not bet it coming into the year, as I just was a little bit concerned about Manchester City's bounce back, but we haven't seen that yet. Liverpool, quarter goal favorite, certainly means that if they draw, they will be paying out the other side. I'm just not really a believer in Liverpool at this point. I thought their lopsided victory or win of the Premier League last season was a lot because their competition was horrible. Arsenal had no striker for months at a time, it felt like. And until Arsenal loses a striker, I think I'm going to believe that they can score. I think over is probably more interested in me, but I'm just not really an over player. So quarter goal underdog on Arsenal away. Not sure it'll make the card, but I am interested in it. To the last matchup of the English Premier League weekend of August 30th, 31st, and 29th, because we didn't have a match today. Aston Villa, half a goal favorite at home with all the juice to Crystal Palace. Total in this one is 2.5, and the juice is split both ways. I'm a little concerned about Aston Villa. I haven't seen a lot to believe in. Yes, Unai Emery is there. Yes, they will defend fairly well. Crystal Palace are certainly known for that as well. And without Eberechi Eze, that certainly removes a good chance at scoring goals. I'd love to see this climb from a half of a goal to 3/4, so a single goal loss, and you'll only lose half. But I am interested in the road underdog. I'll take the half of a goal right now, and I'll take under 2.5 in that matchup as well. So that means we got to the end of the Premier League. I need to give out a favorite pick on this episode. I will go with the Wolverhampton Wanderers under 2.5 goals at home against Everton. We'll now move to Spanish La Liga, where we did have some matches today, so it might be a little bit of an abridged version, but here we go. All right, we'll start with Alaves hosting Atletico Madrid. Currently, Alaves half a goal underdogs at home. Almost all the juice on Atleti away. Total is 2.25, juiced all the way to under. So I don't want to lose that 2.25, I must say. But I don't know what Atletico Madrid is doing as a favorite right now. No wins in their first 2 matches. Haven't looked good. Did take a lead against Elche, but couldn't find a second goal after they gave up a goal on their own their own corner kick. The counterattack is where the goal ended up being scored. Alaves have, I don't know that they've looked great. Stole a win late in their opener against a newly promoted side. But then I thought we're pretty competitive at Betis. We're beating the shit, excuse my French, out of Giovanni Lo Celso, the midfield creator. And I could see that same type of strategy being used. If Coudet was doing it against his former mentor, then certainly I think he'll do it against Giovanni Simeone. Right? Simeone? Whatever. Diego Simeone? What? Can't even think of it right now. Anyway, pretty easy, I think. Half of a goal underdog and under. I'm betting against Atleti until they prove something. They've been bad for almost a calendar year now. Move next to Real Oviedo hosting Real Sociedad. One real team's going to win here. Or Royal, if you're looking for the Spanish version. Real Oviedo, quarter goal underdogs right now with more juice. Total in this one is 2, juiced all the way to over. So Oviedo, newly promoted side, haven't been in the big time for a long time. Real Sociedad completely rebuilding, new manager, new all these sort of things. I think I'm less interested in Oviedo because I'm not sure they're going to score, but I think that plays to under there. So I think under 2 is my biggest interest in that matchup. Looks like 30 minutes later, starting as we have a logjam of matches. Girona, quarter goal favorites at home to Sevilla. All the juice on Sevilla away. Total in this one is 2.5, and it's juiced pretty heavily to under. I don't know that I trust the Girona defense much, but I really don't trust Sevilla to score. So under 2.5 goals is my biggest interest. I do think Girona, I mean, they've shown some issues so far this season. I think Gazaniga should be back after suspension, taking a red card in the opener, but do want to see that in the lineup because he's a good shot stopper. Just don't pass the ball to him. To the nightcap, we have Real Madrid hosting Mallorca. Currently, Real Madrid 2-goal favorites. Juices split both ways on that one, so no real tell on where that one should go, though. I expect Real Madrid money to hit forever. Total in this one is 3, and it's used pretty heavily to over. Rather than playing the 2 goals, I don't believe Mallorca is going to score away, so biggest interest for me there is under 3. Not sure there's enough, though, for me to want to play it. Moving to Sunday, Celta de Vigo hosts Villarreal. Currently, Celta, a pick'em. All the juice is on the Villarreal roadside, though. Total in this one is 2.75, just a little bit more to over. And Celta Vigo played an odd midweek match because for some reason, Spanish La Liga is playing midweek matches during Europa League. Like, who messed that up? I don't know. But that's certainly an advantage to Villarreal. I understand why they're favorites. Celta Vigo have lost a lot of talent too. So for me, I think there's not anything that I want in that matchup, honestly. We'll move next to Athletic Club Bilbao visiting Real Betis. Athletic Club, they're favored. Pick them right now, but all the juice on that side. Total on this one is 2.25. Real Betis also played midweek. They're in that match with Celta de Vigo. So I don't love that setup at all. I'm very happy as an Athletic Club top 4 finish futures better that the schedule works out this way. I think Athletic Club are really good. And I think signing and keeping Nico Williams is really important. Real Betis, they've got a ways to go. I'd like to bet against them as a favorite, but it doesn't look like we'll have that here. Move to Sunday. Actually, that was Sunday, so we're still on Sunday. Espanyol, quarter goal favorites at home to Osasuna. Total in this one is 2.25, and it's juiced more to the under. Espanyol have been my favorite team to bet as an underdog for a long time now, maybe forever. In this league. Osasuna, I don't trust them to score goals. They're much worse away from home, so it makes sense they're an underdog. I think if Espanyol move back to a pick'em, I'll be interested there, but I think under 2.25 is my biggest interest because I still don't really trust Espanyol to score. To the final matchup of the Jornada, we go to Rayo Vallecano, 1.25 goal underdogs at home with all the juice currently on the Barcelona side. Totals 3.25, juice all the way to over. So Rayo are home underdog and under forever. This is the biggest problem they'll have against a team like Barca, who are so talented at scoring goals, are forever putting their defense in harm's way. I'll be waiting to see how big this number climbs. 3.5 looks like it's coming, as does plus 1.5 on the side. Not sure that's enough that I really want to get involved with, I must say, but I am very interested in that. And I think for my best bet in Spain, as this is a pretty brief, abridged version of this episode, I think I'm going to go with that Alaves Atletico Madrid game. I'll go with Alaves, a 0.5 goal underdog, though I do like the under and expect to play both rather than hoping that the one I choose will actually win this time. Instead, I'd love a little goalless draw sweep if we can make it happen. Eduardo Coudet. We'll move to Italy now. So we'll start with Parma hosting Atalanta. Currently, Parma 0.5 goal underdog at home. Juice is split both ways. Total in this one is 2.5. Juice more to the over. Parma, they've got to prove some things. Atalanta under new management have to do the same. I always into home underdogs, so I'll take Parma 0.5 goal. I'm not really sure what to do with Atalanta totals until I get more than one game of sample size. So I need to do a little bit more research there. Lean to under 2.5, but it's not strong. Next, we'll go to Bologna hosting Como, also starting at the same time. Bologna 0.25 goal favorites. All the juice on Como away. Total in this one is 2.25, juice pretty heavily to under. And that's kind of rare for Como matches. Last year, they take a lead and then concede twice and lose if it was going to happen that way. I don't know that Bologna, I mean, I was very impressed with them last year. They do have an offensive manager, but in taking over a great defense, I guess that's hard to do and become and completely change your spots, stripes, whatever the animal analogy is. I think Como, I mean, they've got a ton of respect last season. They're pretty respected here with this number. I think at Bologna pick'em, I'm interested more. For now, I'll just lean to the Como under 2. I don't really think I want that, actually. So I think I'll move on to the next. We'll go to Napoli hosting Cagliari. Currently, Napoli goal and 0.5 favorite. All the juice right now on Cagliari away. Total in this one is 2.5, just a little bit more to under. And I think there's some decent rivalry in the history. Probably not from any of the players in this matchup, but someone's saying putting an umbrella in someone's ass and then opening it. So something like that. I think it was like a celebration from Cagliari against Napoli way back when. Napoli now are defending champions and Campiones with the Scudetto. And I'll move if you're watching on video on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you can find me under Betting the Pitch or on YouTube. I should hold the mic while I say this. Go to @the_Real_G Warner. But on this episode, I'm wearing a Diego Maradona split jersey, if you could see it. Yes, there it is. Butoni is the, I think the Pesto, whatever, sponsor. But yeah, this is a sweet kit that I bought for 10 euros probably. Anyway, let's get back to what we were doing here. Napoli, goal and 0.5 favorite. I don't trust them. I lean the other way. I also don't think that Conte is ever going to hit overs in any match he plays until it happens. So I'll take Cagliari. I think I'm more interested in the under 2.5 there, as I don't expect them to score much. And they just needed to keep Napoli out to remain competitive. We'll move next to Pisa hosting Roma. Currently, Pisa 0.75 goal underdogs with almost all the juice. Total in this one is 2.5, juice all the way to under. I need to see Pisa and how they perform, but I do like home underdogs. We'll see if that gets to a full goal of insurance. It doesn't look like it, though, unfortunately. Moving to Sunday, we have Genoa hosting Juventus. Currently, Genoa, a 0.5 goal underdog. More juice on the Juve side. Total is 2.25, juice all the way to under. That's probably one I need to get on sooner because I don't expect goals. We saw that in Patrick Vieira's team last season. Juve, I never expect to score much. Lean to Genoa, a 0.5 goal underdog, and also that under 2.25. We'll move next to Torino hosting Fiorentina. Currently, Torino 0.25 goal underdogs at home with all the juice. Total in this one is 2.25, and it's juiced all the way to under. Not a lot of goals being scored. I think that's a lot based on Torino. I lean to their way as a home underdog and to under. But I've got to do some more digging on Fiorentina so far this season. 2 matches left to go in Italy before we move to France. Lazio 1 goal favorites right now to Verona. Total in this one is 2.5, juiced all the way to under. I need to see something out of both of these clubs. Lazio, not a lot of respect for them coming into the season. And they're a pretty big favorite. So for that reason, I'll lean to Verona, the 1 goal underdog, and I'll lean to under 2.5. But I'm pretty concerned about Verona just every season until they have their backs up against the wall and need to stay up. That's when they seem to play well. Last but not least, Inter Milan, a 1.5 goal favorite. Juice is split both ways to Udinese. Total is 3, juice all the way to under. I'm a believer in Inter. I'm not really a believer in Udinese, but I don't really want much to do with fading an Inter side that I think is the best in Italy. So for my best bet from the Italian Serie A, I'm going to go with that Genoa Juventus under 2.25 goals, as I do not see much scoring there. And I think that fits both ways that this match will go. We'll move now to French Ligue 1. And any of you that are here live, feel free to throw something in the comments or comment later. And when I see it, or hit me at @G Warner, I will reply. We'll start in France with Lorient hosting Lille. Currently, Lorient newly promoted, quarter goal underdogs at home, while the juice on Lille. Total is 2.5, just a little bit more to over. I needed to see more from Lorient. They were not very impressive in the opener. Lille have lost a lot as well. I guess I'll lean to the home underdog, but it's not a very strong one at the moment. Certainly would love to see that climb to 1/2 goal, so they draw at home and you win a full bet. Nantes then hosts Angers. Currently Nantes quarter goal favorites. All the juice on Angers away. Total is 2.25 in this one. The juice is split both ways. I need to see more from Nantes. They, to me, are not that impressive, I must say. I think Angers are a little bit more continuity. They didn't change managers like Nantes did, unless I'm mistaken, confusing them with Le Havre, because I do that from time to time. But I think we see a low-scoring match here. I just don't know that I believe in Nantes so far. They were really fortunate to get a PSG side that literally played backups, and I don't really think that's going to happen much, or they seem to be fortunate. But we move next, speaking of PSG, to Toulouse hosting PSG. Toulouse a 1.5 goal underdog at home. Juice in this one is 3, just a little bit more to over. I'll lean to Toulouse and I'll lean against PSG for most of the season because the numbers will be too high. But even with a goal and a half, I feel like that's not really enough for what I'm kind of looking for in this type of space. We'll move next to Angers hosting Rennes. Currently Angers, 1/2 goal underdogs at home with all the juice. They were my best bet winner in week 1. Have not actually caught up fully on week 2 just yet, but we will get there and keep grading as we go along the season. Total in this one's 2.5, juice all the way to under. Angers, to me, I think they're a good home underdog. I think Rennes' defense has been great. I don't think Angers are going to do much scoring. I'm still waiting to see what the deal is with Abdelli, their creator, who was so important to them last season. I'll lean to the home underdog, getting 1/2 goal, but I think my biggest interest is the under 2.5, which does feel large because Rennes are really great defense now, I think, and the market has not realized that. Le Havre, 1/2 goal underdog to Nice. Over under here is 2.5, and it's juiced pretty heavily to over. Nice, to me, are going to come back to being a defensive squad. I don't really trust them to score many goals. Le Havre are going to be underdogs all the time, it seems like, this season. There's not a lot of belief in them. That worries me because I do like home underdogs, and I like those when they also play low-scoring games. So I'll lean to under 2.5 and the 1/2 goal underdog at home. Move next to Monaco hosting Strasbourg. Currently Monaco, 1-goal favorite with more juice. Total in this one is 3, juice more to the under. Now, Strasbourg without Georgi Petrovic, who's gone back to the Premier League. We'll see what that means for Strasbourg this season, but I do like their growth and where they can be, though they were playing some tight matches or some qualifying matches, I believe, midweek. I'll lean to Strasbourg as a 1-goal underdog, not a really feel for the total. And as I said earlier, I don't love big underdogs away from home in high-scoring matches, and that's what we have there. FC Paris then hosts Football Club de Metz. Currently, Paris a 3/4 goal favorite after a lot of respect in that opener on the road at Angers. Total in this one is 2.5, and it's used pretty heavily to over. I don't know that I trust Metz. They're clearly at a disadvantage in terms of squad size and budget and things like that. But I think Paris is getting a lot of respect here, not the Saint-Germain side, the newly promoted other squad from Ligue 2 last season, as Football Club de Metz were too. I'll lean to under 2.5 as a probably stronger number there. Last but not least, Classique is I think Olympique Marseille and PSG. I guess it's the Olympique derby of Olympique Lyonnais and Olympique de Marseille. Currently, Lyon, a 1/4 goal underdog at home with all the juice. Total on this one is 3, and it's just a little bit more to over. I think we see goals here. I don't love that because I'm an under player, but I do like the home underdog, even though I don't expect it to be as low scoring of a game here. In terms of my best bet from France, I'm a little concerned about Strasbourg with that extra match midweek, so I don't really know that I love that. I think I'm going to go with the Angers under 2.5 goals at home on Sunday to Rennes. Last but not least, we'll go to the German Bundesliga. I'll get an ultimate best bet. I'll, of course, plug everything, especially patreon.com/real_G Warner. Best way to get all my plays across all sports. Started 2-0 in college football. Baseball's been great. Big season, especially after a horrible opening year and to the year in March and April. And of course, NFL's coming soon. Get ready for more podcasts on that. A_Snickers coming back on this channel as well. Looking forward to having him and his insight because we're going to have a big year in the NFL. To Germany, we'll go start with RB Leipzig hosting Heidenheim. Currently, Leipzig a 1.25 goal favorite. Almost all the juice on Heidenheim away. Total in this one is 3, and it's juiced all the way to over. So Leipzig looked horrible against Bayern Munchen, but Xavi Simons was, I guess, not even really trying. That's what a lot of the commentators afterwards were saying. Heidenheim are a scary team to me, though. I don't really trust their defense. Their goalkeeper looked horrible. I can't even put them on the list. I'll just move on to the next matchup. Werder Bremen, half a goal underdogs to Bayer Leverkusen. Total, a little bit more juice, on the Werder Bremen side. Total in this one is 3, just a little bit more to over. Bayer Leverkusen were horrible last season. It's amazing that they won so many things and won so many matches in a row in Germany and Europe, everywhere, until Atalanta ruined their parade in the Europa League final. Now Xavi Alonso's gone, which probably takes off a little bit of luster because he was great to fade. Werder Bremen's my interest here. I also leaned under 3, so I'll go half of a goal underdog and under 3. Stuttgart, then a 1-goal favorite to Borussia Mönchengladbach. Juice is split both ways. Total in this one is 3.5, and it's used pretty heavily to under. Stuttgart, life without Nick Voltemata. We'll see. Voltemessi is gone, and that's a big concern for me. Gladbach have been bad away from home for years, but they've been improving. I do want to see when Tom Kleindienst will be back for D. Follin, but at this point, I lean to Gladbach, the 1-goal underdog. And I don't know that I love unders with Gladbach because I haven't trusted their defense in a while. 3.5 is gigantic, though. Anything above 3, I'm generally leaning under. Well, leaning under on everything. As at Joe Dollar would say, longtime Patreon subscriber, patreon.com/real_G Warner. He's trying to get everyone to tell me to bet overs, but I don't think it's going to happen. Move next to Hoffenheim hosting Eintracht Frankfurt. Currently, Hoffenheim a pick'em right now. All the juice on Frankfurt away. Total in this one is 3.25, another high total, a little bit more juice. The under. I don't know that I believe in Eintracht Frankfurt's offense. I mean, it got so much worse when Marmoush left, of course, but then Ekitike also gone, and I don't really trust it. So we'll see how that goes. Hoffenheim with a good start to the season. We'll see if they can build on that. I'm not sure I believe that either. I lean to the home underdog and 3.25 goals to under, but I'd really like to see Hoffenheim with 1/4 goal next to their name when I wake up or before this match kicks off on Saturday at 8:30 local time, 3:30 p.m. in Deutschland. To the top spiel, the biggest matchup of Saturday, Augsburg hosting Bayern München. Augsburg 1.75 goal underdogs at home, a little bit more juice on Bayern. Total is 3.5, and it's juice a little bit more to over. Now, I'll lean to Augsburg here just based on history. They've been the bogey team, the Gash or whatever it's called. I just don't know that I trust them against the Bayern team that looks like they can kill anybody. Augsburg with a new manager. He looks really intense, but we'll see what he does with the Jess Thorup mentality without the Jess Thorup actually there. To Sunday, we'll go to VfL Wolfsburg, 1/2 goal favorites at home right now to Mainz 05. All the juice on Mainz. Total in this one is 2.75, and it's juiced slightly more to under. I don't understand why Mainz are a big underdog. I gotta say, or 1/2 goal, not gigantic, but they're the team that actually won last year. Wolfsburg spends all the money. Don't really get much from it. I'm not sure a win on the road at Heidenheim says that much. I'll lean to Mainz getting 1/2 goal. And I think Mainz are not really an under team, but I think they're going to keep Wolfsburg's offense pretty quiet. So I'll lean to under 2.75 in that one. Next, go to Borussia Dortmund, the other Borussia. They are 1.25 goal favorites at home to Union Berlin. All the juice on Dortmund. Total in this one is 3, just all the way to over. This has been a house of horrors for Union Berlin in the past. I don't know that I do like seeing them getting more than a goal of insurance. I don't know that I want to fade the Schwarzgalben in the Borussia Park, Signal Iduna Park, whatever we're calling it now. Last but not least, FC Köln, a pick'em at home to Sports Club Freiburg. All the juice on Köln right now. Total in this one is 2.5, juice very heavily to under. Freiburg are a different squad when they're not in their Schwarzwaldstadion or whatever they play in now at home, the Europa Park, I think it's called, which is probably a sponsor. I probably shouldn't say it. But I'll lean to Freiburg, especially if they move to a quarter goal underdog. We don't have that yet. Under 2.5 is my biggest interest. I think Cologne are going to have a really rough time trying to stay in the Oberhausen, the top division in Deutschland. As for my best bet in the German Bundesliga, I'm going to go with Mainz, half a goal underdog on the road at Wolfsburg. I think they are a better team, and I need to be proven to me that Wolfsburg and all the money they spent will actually lead to wins. So it's now time for the ultimate best bet. Thank you for the two people on here. Anderson Hernandez, come in here with all the hands up to the sky, waving around like you just don't care. The fire emojis. Last week was fire. Let's go, baby. Let's keep it going. Good start to the year. It's a good end to the 2025 season as well. This 2025-2026 season. We're trying to make it happen, baby. Let's make some money. It's been a great year, and I'm only more and more energized as I feel like the time I've put in to try to learn as much about betting the sport will be helpful, especially now that there are bets to be made, 365 days a year. If you want more content, patreon.com/real_G Warner. If you want to follow along with the podcast, of course, subscribe, Betting the Pitch on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. If you leave a 5-star review, more people might see it. I might do more fancier things. And then, of course, check out the new reels. I'm now doing the floating head thing, which seemed to be popular, and especially when it has some winners attached to it. Figure that out, though. It's really not easy, and I need to figure out a different way to do it, maybe being unbanned from TikTok. All that said, at the Real_G Warner across any social media platform, you find it there. The Pro Football Podcast is coming out soon with A_Schnicker. I think we're getting together next week for our first preview episode. I think we have to because the season's about to be here. Might even get 2 out of the way next week. We'll see. And then, of course, follow us all season long, going through the Super Bowl with that one. Plenty of other great content, pregame.com, college football going out there with Lante, and, of course, Major League Baseball with Munaf for the rest of the season. So it's time to get the ultimate best bet. I'm cutting the video later, so not a big issue right now. So I'll go through the top 5 leagues. I don't know why I was just leading into Wolfsburg, but maybe that's on the mind because I just said my best bet was against them. I'll read them off from all the leagues we covered in this episode, get this out to all the channels so you can listen to it hopefully before the match starts tomorrow. From England, I like, oh my gosh, this is why. From England, I like Wolverhampton Wanderers. There's so many Wolf things around. Wolverhampton Wanderers, 2.25 goal under. That's my interest there in England. In La Liga in Spain, I like Alaves, a half a goal underdog at home. In Serie A, I like Genoa under 2.25 goals. In Ligue 1 in France, I like Angers under 2.5. And the German Bundesliga, I like Mais 05, half a goal underdogs on the road at VfL Wolfsburg. But as for the best bet of this week, we are going with the squad. Well, really, we're just fading Atletico Madrid. They've been horrible since a really tough calendar run. And I was a big believer last season until they were playing Real Madrid in Champions League. They were playing Barcelona in the Spanish Copa del Rey, and then they were trying to win the league as well, and none of that really worked. I'm not really a believer. I think there's a big problem there. They need to show some sort of change. And Alaves at home in front of their crowd in the Basque Country in northwestern Spain, or they don't consider them Spanish, but we'll see what happens there. Anyway, hopefully no wars because war is not the answer, but music is the answer. Anyway, Alaves, half a goal underdog at home. That's my best bet, ultimate best bet in this episode. We are off to a perfect 1-0 start.